I'm your Chief of Wrestling, Craig Anderson, and this is Dirt Sheet Mania's Hell in a Cell prediction show. As always, I am alongside the Director of Creativity. He creates so I can procrastinate, Kieran Smith. Hi, Kieran, how you doing?
We've been doing a lot of procrastinating lately, haven't we?
We have. In actual fact, the last show or any sort of content we did was SummerSlam.
So 3 weeks ago?
It would have been about 3 weeks ago now, so... Yeah, we apologise for that and our absence.
Busy.
We have summer actually, ironically, busy, very busy for me, and I was on holiday last week.
Yeah.
You've had a little holiday in the middle as well, and obviously work, whatever. But we are back. We are going to be changing the show, aren't we, Kieran?
Yeah, we're going to change it.
Little tweaks.
The same sort of format in some ways. We've toyed with a few ideas, but we're going to be looking at doing a sort of review/preview show every that will come out every Sunday.
Yeah, we're
still working the ins and outs of it.
We found out that the best times for us to record are probably maybe Sunday afternoons, maybe Friday afternoons. Yeah. We're trying to find the best time, maybe Friday mornings.
Yeah.
So we find, instead of going, oh, here was Raw and SmackDown, which was effectively like the beginning of the week where everyone knows what happened, like what big friggin' whoop, like everyone's done that already. So we think we can do a little bit of that happened, but we think this is going to happen. Yeah. So we think we're going to be ahead of that, so ahead of the week before, by predicting what's going to happen.
Which also ties into pay-per-views. Obviously, we've had in the sale this Sunday.
Absolutely.
We can obviously preview that as well as the review the Raw and SmackDown sides of things. It will also give us a little bit of an opportunity to talk about anything that happens in NXT or the Mae Young Classic or Ring of Honor or TNA or All In. Just things like that as well. It gives us more opportunity to do stuff.
I do think so as well, because I think then we're not like, oh my god, we need to get Raw and SmackDown out. We can be like, well, actually, because we're doing it this way round, like for example, this is now as recording Friday morning. Yeah. So we have a little bit of time, so we occasionally can attach a couple of things onto the end and not think, oh my god, we have to get this out. We have to get it onto YouTube. We have to get it onto iTunes.
And we'll still do Royal Rambles when it's appropriate.
Yeah.
We'll do, if I can be serious, we've still been talking about bringing that back for a bit.
We've been doing this. You actually realised that we've been back doing this 9 months.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's gone really fast.
It has gone really fast.
Really fast. Like, I think it's like
a lot can happen in 9 months.
A lot can happen in 9 months. A lot can happen in 9 months. But in our case, this has happened, and we're really happy. And the one thing that we are mainly going to change is that we're going to become more video-based. Yeah. So on YouTube, we're not really going to have, if any at all now, a podcast with like a graphic. We're not doing that anymore. We're going to have the videos just like you see us now, but then we're going to take this audio and put it onto iTunes as we were doing. So
yeah. So the audio will still be there for those people that are going out and about or want to listen to us on the move.
So if you are listening to this on iTunes and you're thinking, this doesn't sound like as much as an audio podcast it was, well, it's now it's now more of a video-based podcast. So, but we thank you either way for listening or watching. As I said, this is our Hell in a Cell prediction show.
Yep.
We can talk about bits and bops and I don't know how your feelings are towards gimmick pay-per-views. Let's just kick that off the bat straight away.
I think they're slowly fading them out. I think there's a lot of talk of them bringing back former WCW pay-per-view names and things like that.
Fully Loaded. What a great name that was. Yeah. Or, just King of the Ring.
Halloween Havoc at the end of October would be perfect. Who don't like Halloween
Havoc? Perfect. The timing of the year as well is perfect.
The Great American Bash was a great one. It's the only one that they've used so far.
December to December.
Yeah.
Not so much.
But there's plenty of out there. Like I said, we talked quickly before we went on air about what matches are taking place in Hell in a Cell.
Yeah, there's 8 matches this Sunday that will take place.
That have been advertised as of now.
Correct. At the pay-per-view Hell in a Cell, because that's always confusing. Sunday, me and you at Hell in a Cell is like, is it in Hell in a Cell or is it on the pay-per-view Hell in a Cell? So that, getting rid of these gimmick pay-per-views, not only would it add clarity to people announcing they were going to be in certain matches, but I mean, every year when Hell in a Cell rolls around, it's like, well, you're going to get minimum 2 Hell in a Cell. Some years we've had 3. Yeah. And I love the days where you'd have big blow-off feuds, 6-man Hell in a Cell. I still watch that match now, 20 years later.
See, that's the thing as well. Like they've only had one 6-man Hell in a Cell match. Why have they not done anything?
Because of the Elimination Chamber.
Yeah, possibly, but still to have 8 people in a Hell in a Cell with a Money in the Bank briefcase in the top or some crap like that. I don't know. But it's all Hell in a Cell matches always 1v1, like saying they're blow off matches. There has been a few at WrestleMania over the years.
Yeah. The latest one was Shawn Michaels. It's like, Undertaker Triple H with Shawn Michaels. Referee,
I just think I just think it limits how you have the Hell in a Cell at other pay-per-views, because sometimes it might need it.
Because you've already seen it once or twice that year, it diminishes it. But
that's the thing as well. If you've got 2 or 3 Hell in a Cell matches a year, same as with Extreme Rules matches, I suppose, to a certain degree, they devalue the actual value of the match or the value of the structure. Like, we got Randy Orton versus Jeff Hardy in Hell in a Cell. Now, that wouldn't really be a match you'd put in Hell in a Cell over the years. And does that devalue it if you're only putting an Intercontinental title match in a Hell in a Cell?
Well, I've always said,
devalue the match, or does it value the Intercontinental title?
I think you've had Elimination Chamber matches that are number 1 contender matches and IC title matches. I mean, you remember that horrifically botched one where Mark Henry escaped for the IC. I think that was a vacay IC title, potentially. Yeah. Okay, ignoring the botch, Elimination Chamber matches should be for World Championships. That's what it's there for.
Do you know what match I'd like to quite see come back? The championship scramble. Brian Kendrick was champion for a couple of minutes.
Yeah, he was. No, I do like championship scrambles. I do. But nonetheless, we're going to get into Hell in a Cell now. And I've got the list of matches here. There's 8. I'm going to start off. Let's start off at the bottom of this little list I've got here. And that is Dolph Ziggler and Drew McIntyre defending their new Raw Tag Team Championships against 2/3 of the Shield in Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins. Now, I actually have written down why Seth and Dean got this match. Do you remember from Raw why they got this match?
Wasn't it to do with the cop that was named Ambrose?
What was he called, Ambrose?
Yeah, didn't you see they sort of didn't zoom in on the name tag, but it was there that you could see it. It's obviously like G Ambrose or something like that.
Okay, let's have a look, because I have it written down here. And here we go. He calls it something really, really weird. It's the polyonic code in Louisiana. That's the because they wrongly got arrested because Corbin made them get arrested the week before. So no number 1 contenderships, no proving yourself. The polyonic code for wrongly getting arrested in Louisiana grants you getting a title match at the pay-per-view.
Craig, let's be honest. Does anything on Raw make sense at the moment?
Well, maybe not, but this definitely doesn't. It's so confusing.
But yeah, anyway, so the tag title match.
Yes. Who do you think will win?
I think I'm going to go for Ziggler and McIntyre in this. I think it'd be very easy to put it on the Shield. It wouldn't surprise me if they won it, and they all have titles at the end of the night potentially. Maybe the Revival come in and maybe cost Ziggler and McIntyre because of what they've done, which is something again that could happen. But I don't know. I just see Ziggler and McIntyre sneaking away with it. I think Ambrose and Rollins are bigger than the tag team titles.
Well, I mean, let's keep this as it is. Seth is already Intercontinental Champion. Yeah. So that belt obviously will not be defended.
I forgot that. I actually just you just reminded me.
The amount of times in the last 3 weeks or so that the Shield have done the 3-way fist bump, and in the middle is Roman holding up his Universal title behind him. Great visual, really cool visual. But Seth has never had the IC title in his hand.
It's very weird. There's something I saw on Twitter the other day that they basically, when they're the Shield, it's like their alter egos. They become this big unit that's hard to beat and things like that. But
well-oiled machine.
Yeah, and they wear their Shield t-shirts and their Shield gear. And then suddenly when they're on their own, when they're in the Shield, they don't carry the titles around. I think Roman still carries the Universal, but Seth's never carried the Intercontinental title. When they're on their own, Seth's wearing his normal gear, his Seth Rollins t-shirt, and he's carrying the Intercontinental title. Same with Dean Ambrose.
That happened on Raw, because obviously Corbin said, if you come back, you're going to get kicked out. And then Dean and Seth, when they went to the office and got this, Louisiana, loophole, so they got those tag titles and made Corbin feel guilty. That's how they said, actually, we're not the Shield. You can't strip me of the IC title because we're not the Shield. We're Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose. We're not the Shield. And it's like, so what you said is completely. Yeah, I think there's a lot of truth to that.
I don't like that. Look, we know that when the Shield come back originally before Dean got injured and obviously Roman was out, it was a fail because
Seth is rumouredly hurt at the moment.
Yeah,
you don't know how bad that is.
But we did get Seth Rollins and Jason Jordan, which was quite a little interesting sort of.
Where's Jason Jordan?
I don't want to digress
too much.
I don't know if you've seen the latest rumours, but apparently he could be retiring.
He could be,
he's been doing some bloody shame.
Been doing some agent stuff.
Yeah,
there's a huge storyline that never really would have got finished.
Yeah,
But anyway,
yeah. So
I'm also going to say Drew and Dolph. I know I'm behind you in the polls, and I am going to be counting up the how far behind, how far I am behind you. But I'm going to say Dean and Drew and Dolph. Close run thing, and I do think we will talk about the main event at the end of the show. But I do think that all four of these gentlemen will be involved in some way.
I think the whole Raw roster will end up in the Hell in a Cell. Because why not? That's what they do these days. If you're a heel,
when we get to the main event, we will also talk about this hilarious entourage that is now following around. Well, I mean, have they got a name? Drew.
Apparently Braun calls them his Dogs of War, which I quite like.
The Dogs of War. Okay, so the Dogs of War versus the Hounds of Justice. Yeah. Okay, well,
we'll get into it later.
We will get into it later. Let's talk about the SmackDown Women's Championship match. It's Charlotte Flair. Again, she's only recently acquired this title.
We're talking about this second.
Well, it's just in the list.
Well, I was going to say, because I think this is one of the best matches, potentially one of the best storylines, best matches of the night.
And I tell you what, a lot of these matches, I think, are good storylines going into this pay-per-view. Charlotte Flair has won the title at SummerSlam and instantly got turned on by her tea friend, Becky Lynch. And the place went mental. And every time...
Her tea lady.
Well, her tea lady. And every time that Becky and Charlotte have come into contact with each other since, and Becky has beat her up, the place has gone ballistic.
Yep.
In a positive, happy, yes, you deserve it. And it's hard not to look at this and say, who's the heel? Becky, after WrestleMania, I said she needs to turn heel. What she did is she went on a huge winning streak and then turned heel.
Yeah.
So she had more of a purpose. Charlotte was away, had surgery, came back healthy, won one match against Carmella, got put in the title match that Sunday, won the title. That's a Healy Dicky kind of thing to do.
There are a lot of things in WWE at the moment which don't make sense in terms of the heel face dynamic.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking about the Shield helping Roman keep his title.
Well, this is when Braun was still a babyface.
Yeah.
But now, obviously, Braun's now a heel.
Which is a heel, but he's still technically getting cheered because...
It's not as much
when he's only facing Roman, but when Roman's in the Shield, he's getting cheered because it's just like...
But let's talk about Becky and Charlotte for now. Yeah. We can talk about that when we get to that main event in a bit.
There's a lot to talk about.
There is a lot to talk about. And we even tweeted about that. There's a lot to talk about. But in regards to this match, I'm going to go straight out there. I think Becky will win this match. I think it's going to make her look absolutely pony if she doesn't get this win. I mean, come on, guys. Seriously, she turns on Charlotte. Fine, I understand that. She beats her up. I understand that. Charlotte's the champion. I kind of do understand that. But now Becky has to win. And it's always better, no matter who the heel is, no matter what the scenario is, it's always better for the heel to be the champ and the babyface to chase. Now, this is different. This is a little different. This isn't the same sort of formula because this isn't a standard case of Becky's getting booed all the time. Becky's getting cheered 99% of the time. But I still think she wins Sunday.
There's a couple... I'm going against you and I will say I think that Charlotte wins this match. There's a couple of things that I've reading up on people and I quite like the idea. Some people are comparing Becky Lynch right now to Stone Cold, the anti-hero.
Okay.
To me, this whole thing doesn't say that she's like a heel. Mm-hmm. It's hard. She is obviously portraying a heel, but she's getting cheered so much. People love seeing her. The wearing the wig thing is quite an anti-hero thing to do, mm-hmm. and to beat down on Charlotte,
Oh, what, in the crowd and then jumping?
Yeah. So, there's a few reasons why I think Charlotte retains.
Okay.
One, she's a 7 times champion. You lose the title. You lose the title after a month. And then she's going to have to get a rematch.
Do you remember her and Becky? Her and
Sasha.
Sasha.
5 times. That's just why she's a 5-time champion, because the 4 times in between it was Sasha.
Mm.
Which is far too much. I think Charlotte ends up retaining it, not in a screwy fashion, but it'll be some sort of way where Becky can go, well, I deserve a rematch because this wasn't meant to happen or whatever. Mm-hmm. Maybe Carmella gets involved. Maybe, I don't know, someone else gets involved, a heel, and I don't know. It could be anything.
So Carmella's a babyface now, mate.
Well, yeah, that's what it looks like, right? Don't make sense.
She's a babyface of R-Truth now.
Yeah, which R-Truth is fucking hilarious. But yeah, I think Charlotte wins it, and then you got the next. So you got obviously Evolution, which is the next. Super Showdown first, then it's Evolution.
Yeah.
So I think at Super Showdown, Becky wins it.
Okay.
And then at Evolution, you get the big blow off Put it in a Hell in a Cell. Why not?
Put
it in a cage.
2 out of 3 falls.
Yeah, or something
nice.
like that. You know?
Okay, cool. So you're saying Charlotte?
So I'm going Charlotte. Yeah.
Okay, fine. No. Again, it's gonna be
just because I think you can't have Charlotte as a 7-time champion losing it after a month.
We're going to move on now to another match on SmackDown Live. It's the New Day versus another Day, and that's Rusev Day for the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. Rusev Day beat the Bar in a number 1 contender match.
We should invent a tag team for me and you called Bank Holiday.
Bank Holiday? Why?
Yeah, because we get days off.
I don't.
Well, nor do I.
Neither do you. I was going to say, I don't, you don't.
I know, but
Bank Holiday.
Bank Holiday.
Day.
Yeah.
Bank Holiday Day. Bank Holiday.
Holiday.
Just the day. Oh,
Bank
I'm with
Holiday.
you. Bank Holiday. Okay.
Or we could just be called Birthday.
We don't have the day. We are the day.
We can be Happy Birthday Day.
Just Happy Birthday.
So everyone has to say Happy Birthday to us every day and give us cake every day.
That's such a great idea.
Yeah.
I'm sold.
Yeah.
Who do you think will win this tag team match, Kieran?
Do you know, it's hard because it's following my principle of Charlotte retaining. I should technically say that
the New Day will retain.
But I think Rusev Day wins this.
They're giving New Day some super cool treatment right now.
Yeah.
Own announce booth, doing commentary on some matches, not all matches, some matches. You know, it's pretty unique. Like I can't think of anyone that's been given their own little booth to do like fun with. Have a live mic on a network television show and be able to say what the hell you want whenever you want to. It's funny, it's entertaining. I thought they were done around Money in the Bank, maybe just before.
I think we've been saying they're done since probably Royal Rumble time, I think.
But I think just after the pancakes, I was like, this is getting old now. But I'm interested again, and I'm now reinvested.
But the tag team division on SmackDown is so stacked as well.
And you know what? The only way to make it more stacked and more competitive is to establish another team at the top.
Yeah.
Now Rusev had a WWE title match against AJ Styles.
Yeah.
Him and English have had a cool little, I'd say, TV storyline.
Yeah.
Where they've kind of broke them up. Lana's, they're a family again. Now, for some reason,
Rusev and Lana are in mixed match.
They are. And for some reason, in the back of my head, I have this nagging feeling, this odd little feeling that Aiden English is going to turn on Rusev. And I think I go into so many of these matches now with these matches. I think Dean will turn at some point. I think Natty would have turned if it wasn't for the passing of her father. So obviously, rightfully so, they respectfully changed maybe some storyline. And I just think that's the way we've been programmed these days. It's like we can't trust a team that's so loose, that's had previous.
Well, that's usually the case. When, when two members of a tag team are going at each other, they get back together and then they suddenly one turns.
Because it just seems so perfect. And then they've gone on this booking run. It's like, this is weird. Like
if this was the Attitude Era, Aiden English would have been snogging Lana. Full blown sex celebration.
It would have been. And they would have gone off, and then he'd become world champion.
I don't think Aiden English turns, because I think if you put Aiden English on his own, I think he loses.
Oh, and I think
he loses a lot. Him with Rusev works.
I think as much as he won't lose as much, I think Rusev would lose, and subsequently Lana. Yeah. They would be dropped.
Because Rusev is a face. In some ways, he still acts as a heel in some matches when he's in a match.
He is Rusev. He is Rusev. Like, however that is.
So I think
you're saying.
I think they get a feel good moment, and I think Rusev Day wins this.
I'm saying New Day. Okay. I think New Day will keep them. Again, I'm not saying that means English will turn heel, but I'm saying I just think that New Day win this match and keep their titles. Okay, so 2 disagreements in a row. I need to catch her up, so it's not a bad thing. But again, I have to believe in myself.
You also got to remember on the SmackDown side of things, there's no Bludgeon Brothers. They will get a rematch at some point.
We don't know how long Harper's out for.
Is that? I think Rowan's out for a torn rotator cuff or something. I think it's like 9 months, something like that. Ugh. So anyway. So at some point, could Bludgeon Brothers going to want to get their revenge? So New Day, but that means New Day holding on to the title for 9-10 months.
It does.
I don't think again.
Not again.
So
we're going to talk about a mixed match at Hell in a Cell, and that is Brie and Daniel Bryan versus The Miz and Maurice in a mixed tag team match. Maurice and Brie had a main event match at SmackDown. It was more of a schmooze. Broke down quite quickly. Ended up being a bit of a just the 4 of them getting in, chipping in, beating each other up.
Brie Bella free agent.
And Nikki. Nikki maybe not so much, but Brie
can't associate Nikki with being a free agent like John Cena before her. That's not fair.
And Kane, he seems to go where he wants as well. Yeah, I mean, okay, briefly touching upon this, there was a moment on Raw last week as well where they went down the SmackDown matches for Hell in a Cell, and I know it's a company, I know they're all in the same company, it's like, come on guys, get with it, but if you're gonna have a draft, if you're gonna have two separate entities in the entity that is WWE, at least kind of don't plug each other. I think each other's shows. I don't mind the adverts going this Sunday. Not when Michael Cole stood at the announcement going, don't forget on SmackDown side you'll have Jeff Hardy versus Rand. I'm like, no, I don't want to see that.
So this time next year or October next year, SmackDown's moving to Fox. Now I know it's a year away, but I think they're probably doing that to get people to give eyes on SmackDown now while it's on the USA Network, because
they won't be able to do that when they do that.
Raw can't technically promote SmackDown on another channel because it's on another network. So I think they're trying to get people to turn into SmackDown, because you don't see SmackDown doing it for Raw, right?
Well, one, they haven't got the time, but two, they don't think they need to.
Yeah. So that's why I think they're doing it. But
because Raw is going to Fox as well, isn't it?
No, Raw's staying on USA.
It's staying.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, maybe there's
so they can't cross promote such.
I get. Like I said, I completely get the bigger picture. I do. I really understand that. But I think from just trying to, again, from a kayfabe standpoint.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't get it.
It's becoming. Is it a soft Brexit or a hard Brexit? This is a soft brand split. This is a soft brand split. Yeah,
I love that.
So
that's such a good one.
So what match were we talking about?
We were talking about the mixed tag match.
Oh, right, okay.
Because you said made a Brie joke.
Yes, I did make a Brie joke.
You made a Brie joke. I like Brie.
Talking of mixed matches, there are a lot of couples in the WWE. So why are they not changing the mixed match challenge to like a couples mixed match challenge? Because there's loads, even in NXT. Johnny Gargano, Candice LeRae. If you watch Mae Young Classic this week, you had Cedric Alexander and Ariel Monroe together. You know, it was so sweet, by the way, when Cedric's kid cried because Ariel Monroe lost. I spoiled that for you.
Yeah, I haven't seen that.
Yeah, it's fine. But it's good. It's a good match.
But I mean, even on-screen couples like Selena Vega and Andrade Cien Almas,
are they not together in real life?
No, because she's gone out with Johnny Austin Aries.
No, they split up.
Did they?
Yeah.
Oh, well, fair enough. I don't know. Is my honest answer. You can't. I mean, it looks credible.
There's a lot. There's a lot.
But like I say, there's lots of men and women, either real life couples that aren't on screen. I mean, I know Naomi and Jimmy are kind of. Or is it Jay? I want to say Jay, but I know they do sometimes tag and they do sometimes hang out, but they're not always on TV together. So I do like that, and maybe they should be eventually. Do you think they pull the trigger and just have, look, right, here's a mixed tag team title?
I think a mixed tag team titles would work. It'd have to be cross branded.
It would have to be.
But that's
a bit like this women's tag.
The women's tag titles have to be cross-branded.
But are we then getting into the segregation standpoint where there's too many titles?
Yeah.
Way too much.
Yeah.
Who wins his tag match at Hell in a Cell?
Bryan and Brie.
Oh, I'm saying the same, Bryan and Brie, because Bryan lost at SummerSlam, and it was a heelish, screwy way. I can see now a way where Brie probably pins Maurice, and then you can still have Bryan and Miz go again.
Yeah, exactly. So Brie pins Maurice, then you get another match out of this, because I think they're facing each other again at Super Showdown. I think that match has already been announced.
They did the UK spin just after Mania together.
Yeah,
so
they've announced loads of matches for Super Showdown. Probably probably more than what they've announced for Hell in a Cell. So, well, because obviously they're promoted in another country. I
wonder how long Super Showdown will be.
I think it'll be a 4-hour show. It's the greatest Super Showdown.
The greatest ever Super Showdown. Do you remember Tony Chimwell? Superstar.
Maybe we should get Tony Chimwell.
They have to get Tony Chimwell.
But you also got to remember, you've got Survivor Series coming up, which is the only time once a year that Raw and SmackDown go head to head in one-on-one competition.
I've said this to you before. When we get to that pay-per-view, we are going to sit down and we are going to count the amount of times. Probably Cole more than anybody else.
Yeah. Or it will only be Cole and Tom Phillips.
That say that Vince is like, tell them again, it's the only time. Tell them, damn it. Tell them. But Mr.
We just got to remember this year that the NXT takeover at Survivor Series is the only time in one-on-one competition that NXT USA and NXT UK go head-to-head in one-on-one competition.
Why is it not called NXT USA yet?
I don't know.
Because
NXT, like we talked about this before, that NXT is the NXT brand, and like UK, they'll have an NXT.
But you didn't call it NXT UK the other day, and I was like, that's actually such a better idea. It's NXT Commonwealth.
Yeah.
NXT Commonwealth.
Technically, what it is. Technically, if you know who the actual NXT UK Women's Champion is, which we won't spoil.
No, we both know
because these TV shows are not coming out this year,
and we can't really spoil it because everyone in the tournament is from the Commonwealth.
Yeah,
because that's already been announced. Like that can't be spoiled. Yeah. So okay, we're both saying Brie and Bryan.
Yeah,
and we think Brie will. I mean, there's no real bonus points for that, but Brie beating Maurice is a very incredible thing. So I'm just going to work my way back up this. I think we should go to the first Hell in the Cell match: Jeff Hardy versus Randall Keith.
We're talking a lot about SmackDown matches first, isn't it? There seems to be a lot of SmackDown matches.
This is just the way I'm going through them. Yeah, it does seem to be.
But the Raw matches are bigger, but the SmackDown matches, there's more of them. Shall we say?
Do you know what? There's I think this is. There's only one other Raw match. There's 2 Raw matches, and that's the main event and the women's title match.
Yeah, I think they'll add some sort of random match in here. They're probably trying to get Finn Balor on the show or something. Maybe Baron Corbin puts himself in a match against Finn again. Yawn. It'll be pre-show. Yeah, it'll be something like that.
Okay, so it's a Hell in the Cell match. It's Jeff Hardy's first. Randy's had them before.
That's crazy to think it's his first one.
I don't know. This seems very much like this is my last match. It might not be, but I get this really weird impression that... I mean, I've seen rumours that Jeff's being not rebranded, but almost like he's going to have a slightly tweaked gimmick going forward. But it just seems so much like I'm going to do something absolutely stupid, probably off the top.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to be on telly for a few months.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to come back maybe as a new gimmick.
A few rumours that he might... Brother Nero will be wrestling this match. I don't mind that.
Even the
Matt's, well, he hasn't officially retired, but it looks like he's retired. Like,
I can see him having like one last match to make it a big deal.
Yeah.
And then I'm an agent, I'm a trainer.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're in NXT,
but Bray Wyatt's currently doing nothing, right?
Yeah, but nothing.
Jeff Hardy could be going away for a bit, so why are you not putting them? You can still have Matt Hardy on camera as Woken Matt Hardy, but as a manager. Or
Luke Harper's not doing anything either.
Exactly.
I mean, I like the fact that Drew and Dolph are with Braun, but we were like, oh, what if they put Braun with Bray and Luke Harper, and that's the equalizer for the right there.
Yeah.
Like, don't die on the show.
Not to, mate.
How cool would that be as an equalizer for the Shield? But why not have Jeff join Bray? Won't Bray come to SmackDown? You know, there are possibilities because Bray at the moment he's not injured.
No,
he's just doing nothing
for once.
He's not doing anything. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to say Randy Orton's going to win this match.
Yeah, I'll go for Randy Orton. I think Jeff will do something stupid. And
you had to think about. I knew coming into this I was going to go with Randy, but
I didn't think about it.
Do you think we'll have a Survivor Series 2001 moment where Jeff needs to climb over so him and Matt can beat the Dudley Boys and have the co-tag team champions, and then Jeff does that swanton bomb and misses and goes through a table? Do you think we'll have a slightly similar scenario where he could just pin him, but he's like, no, I don't want to pin him. I want to kill him. I want to finish him forever.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. That would make sense. I don't think Randy can lose as well because they seem to be building Randy back up again slowly.
I love this.
And it will be in the title picture. He'll probably fight if AJ keeps the title.
Which we'll have to talk about in a minute.
Randy Orton and AJ haven't actually had a match yet. So I think that's a match they'll want to do at some point. That could potentially be a WrestleMania.
What match, mesh of wonderful, experienced talent. Like, really nice talent. Can you see him going for the phenomenal elbow and Randy pops up with an RKO? Yeah, that'd be sweet ass. So maybe that's look forward to. Both saying Randy Orton on that one. Let's dive into the Raw Women's Championship match. In fact, all the Raw matches announced are title matches as well, which is quite interesting.
Except for the Intercontinental title, which was the number one title on the show for 18 months.
A year and a half, and now it's not even been
defended. Good old Roman.
Yeah, love stuff. Rhonda versus Alexa. I think it's my turn. I'm going to go straight out on a limb and say Rhonda's going to keep her title. Reasons for it. You know, if Rhonda just loses now after being so dominant in tag matches.
Yeah.
I like the fact that they've put her in sort of like, she's kind of a bit injured, and that's Alexa might have a chance. She won't. She'll get beat. Not in record time, but she'll get beat.
Yeah, Rhonda wins this.
Okay.
I can't see any... I don't see why they'd want to screw Rhonda out now. I still think her as women's champion, Raw women's champion, even if she was SmackDown women's champion, she's the face of the brand. Everyone's gonna look at Ronda. You got the 2K19 game coming out with her as one of the.
Well, look at who the champions are: Charlotte and Ronda.
Yeah,
that's something to look at there.
So yeah, Ronda wins. Whether we see some sort of screwy thing, because her matches are still very well put together, and there's still a lot of bells and whistles.
Allegedly, again, this is just what I don't necessarily read it. I don't necessarily believe everything I read. No, nor should you guys. Okay, pinch of salt, guys.
Craig is actually 6'4".
Do you know what I mean? Like, it's super deceiving. Yeah. And considering Kieran is only 5'2", you think, oh, maybe Kieran's. So sitting down, depth isn't good. But nonetheless, that I'm 6'4". Give you £5 later. You can't believe that all these matches of Ronda's is being walked through 5 or 6 times.
Yeah.
I don't believe that. Once or twice, fine.
I think she's still picking up well, and I think she'll get to the point where she can start calling matches on her own and doing things.
Do you know how long it takes to? I mean, I've been in the ring as a ref with people, and you've got super experienced people, and they can call matches.
But there's people like Sting that have to go through matches every single point in their match, and he'd been wrestling for 30 years.
It's preference.
So
there's people I know that are experienced and still just like the knowledge of knowing what's going to happen.
But Ronda's always been in the ring with someone. So say if she's in the ring against Alicia Fox, now I can see that being planned out. But if she's in the ring against like like Bliss or Natalia or someone that's been doing it for years.
Alicia Fox is super. Alicia Fox has been around since Edge and Vicky Guerrero.
I don't trust.
Do you not?
I do not trust Miss Fox.
She's really
very scrappy sometimes in the ring.
I think that's just kind of her gimmicky,
but,
erratic, crazy.
Yeah,
that's the gimmick.
Yeah.
I think you're wrong. I do. I think
I'm always right. So
you are, and I think you're wrong. I think Alicia Fox would be fine. She's got more experience than Alexa Bliss does. Way more experience.
But there's a reason why she's in the ring against people like Mickey and.
Well, Mickey's been doing this for a very, very long time, and she will face Trish. She will face Trish.
Mickey will face Lita.
Mickey will face Lita. Sorry,
Lita will probably end up face planting on her face like she did at the Royal Rumble.
Oh my God. That moonsault Lita did.
Trish is facing Bliss.
Trish is sorry.
So Rhonda, if we're led to believe, is facing Nikki Bella.
Apparently. That's not even been announced, but apparently. So okay, we're both saying Ronda for this title match.
Yes.
Okay, fine, cool. So that leads us to our last 2 matches, our WWE and Universal Championships. We're going to go for the WWE title first because obviously got the Hell in a Cell match last, which we assume will be on last on the pay-per-view as well.
And because it's Roman.
And it's Braun. And it's Mick Foley.
Yeah.
Yep. That's Mick Foley.
Roman Reigns could be
wrestling
European champion and it'd still be the last
he
match.
He could wrestle D'Lo Brown in the main event of WrestleMania. But because it's Roman, he's on last. Yeah. Scotty 2 Hotty versus Roman Reigns for the light heavyweight title.
Yeah.
AJ Styles versus Samoa Joe, Kieran. My favourite feud in WWE right now. Because
Wendy,
who's your daddy?
So good. Joe's so good.
The match at SummerSlam was... SummerSlam.
Yeah.
Was good. I really enjoyed it. It naturally went up about 10 notches when Joe grabbed the mic and said, "Daddy's not coming home, but that's okay. I'll be your new daddy." I was like, holy crap, this has got so cool. Yeah. And AJ snapped it. And then story time, is it Night Night AJ? Was that the book by Samoa Joe? The last time someone did a storybook like that, do you remember who it was?
No.
Shane McMahon on the Big Show. Which way did he go? Which way did he go? Backlash 2001. That was fun, and this was just as fun. It's your go, but I already know who I'm picking to win this.
It's
match.
A tough one because
it's not easy, mate.
It's not easy, and I don't think the 2 big title matches aren't that easy to sort of call in some ways.
Okay, I think this is the hardest one of the night for me. There might be ones that you disagree with, but for me, in my head, this is the hardest one to pick.
So I've been going basically AJ since he's won the title.
And I went against...
He won the title in November last year before Survivor Series, which is the only time, blah, 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 blah. I can't be bothered to keep saying that now.
Good! I'm glad! I'm finally glad!
I've said it once already. So I've been basically saying AJ since then. He's held the title now for over 300 days.
It's a long time.
Which is a record in itself. Could they let AJ keep the title for another 150 off days to beat Brock Lesnar's record despite Brock Lesnar?
What was JBL's record? Was that 9 months? 10 months?
It was just like 290 days or something like that. So I think AJ's being that. I could see WWE keeping the title on AJ to get rid of that Brock Lesnar record now it's not Punk's record.
Pete Dunne is the longest reigning champion in WWE.
Yeah, but in terms of WWE
world titles.
Yeah. I could see that happening. I'm going to go, and because I've wanted the title on him for ages, I'm going to go for Samoa Joe.
For fuck's sake. So I want to pick Joe as well. I'm never going to pick you if I keep picking the same one.
You kept picking Shinsuke. AJ.
I picked Shinsuke Nakamura from WrestleMania all the way through until he never won it. And then he wrestled Jeff, and I went, I'm picking Nakamura, and he won it in 90 seconds. I was like, see? I told you he can win a title. Yeah. I'm still pissed that Nakamura never won the WWE title.
Yeah.
Like, now...
But it's sort of worked out for him, I'd say. Not amazingly.
He's not on the show!
No, he's not.
At what point has this worked out?
But he's a rock star. You can pick.
He's not on the show. Yeah. But how screwed up is that?
Stacked.
But why not? There's like more SmackDown matches than Raw matches.
There's no US title match. But there's no Intercontinental title match. There's no...
Yeah, but the Intercontinental Champion is on the show. Yeah. He's not defending the title.
But he still could be on the show. I was saying there's only 8 matches.
They
could have a US Open challenge.
Nakamura, they could do. Nakamura not winning the WWE title at any of those matches.
Nakamura can get himself involved in this match, and then you've got a triple threat, a super showdown between the three of them.
Oh, Jeff and Randy.
No,
you mean
AJ, Samoa Joe,
as the US champ though?
Why not?
I've never believed another champion going into a match. Like when a champion goes into Money in the Bank, like US or Intercontinental, they're never going to win, and they've never won.
Why not?
Because I want to believe that they can win. I don't think you win.
But why not?
I'm not going to go for him again, am I?
Well, who might win it?
If it's US title match,
you could be dual champion.
I'm going to say Mojo as well. I think he's absolutely there. The fact that it's not like an A branded pay-per-view, it's a B pay-per-view, I think is a perfect chance to give Joe the opportunity that he not only deserves, but then you can see him running from here, probably through Survivor Series, through to the Rumble maybe. And if at the Rumble they're like, right, we're looking at WrestleMania, do we want you as our champion at WrestleMania? Yes, we do. Off you go. If we don't, you're dropping it, and we'll go with whoever we think is right. Maybe Nakamura then, maybe Bryan then. Maybe Bryan will be in the situation where they trust him help medically to continue. But we're both saying...
Okay, Samoa Joe wins title, gets to, we'll say, December Royal Rumble time.
Yeah.
Daniel Bryan wins the title, Samoa Joe. Mm-hmm. And then we get Bryan versus AJ at WrestleMania.
I'm for that.
Yeah. That's got to be the match of Mania right now, you'd say, but people want to see, and
they touched in the first match Bryan had back on SmackDown, but it obviously got schmoozed. They haven't had a thing since, I don't think. That would be pretty cool.
Bryan AJ at WrestleMania, and hopefully it doesn't have all the screwy things that Shinsuke AJ had at WrestleMania.
I think if that's going to happen, do you think AJ carries the belt through to then, or do you think like Joe wins, carries it?
Yeah, Joe wins it, carries it. AJ loses. AJ goes on to something else.
AJ wins the Rumble.
Randy Orton.
AJ wins the Rumble.
AJ winning the Rumble is a potential thing. Bryan wins the title, then you get them too.
Nice.
Mate, there's so many people on SmackDown. You can have all these dream matches. You know, even Joe Bryan. You know, you've got Randy AJ. You've got Shinsuke. You can watch Shinsuke Joe again from NXT. Like Shinsuke Bryan. There's loads on there. SmackDown it has got so many good talent.
Yeah, I agree.
Even the Miz you can sort of add in there to a degree. Miz versus AJ. I mean, I wouldn't have never said I would wanted to see that, but Miz versus AJ would be pretty.
I'll tell you what. Do you know what I'd love to see? Cesaro versus Daniel Bryan.
Yeah.
I mean, because he's in a tag team, you kind of forget that Cesaro, the Swiss Superman, like when he was on his own, he was like, everyone wanted him to become a world champion.
Yeah.
So, maybe one day we'll still get that. I don't know. So, we're both saying Samoa Joe.
Samoa Joe.
Right.
Samoa Joe.
Samoa Lee Joe, as he was nicknamed before he got to WWE. Last match, main event of Hell in the Cell. It will be Roman Reigns defending his Universal title against the Money in the Bank winner Braun Strowman, who's cashing in. It's his official cash in. I've got a little thing I want to just throw at you in a second just to see what you think about that. Okay.
Yeah. And
Mick Foley will be your special guest referee. 20 years since he got thrown off by Taker. He's got a special on the network after. I agree with his placement in this match, but the way it's been done was like lastminute.com. And he has no interaction with Roman or Braun. I do think, though, at the pay-per-view, we have to have 2 separate segments where Mick goes in backstage and speaks to both of them very briefly, just says, look, guys, it's Hell in a Cell. Obviously not together, but one at a time, just says, look, I'm not going to get involved. You two do what you want. I'm there to count 3 or ring the bell for a submission. That's it. One thing, I don't know if you agree or disagree with that, just to have some interaction before they get into the cell. Would you say that's fair?
I think that's fine. Yeah, I think it's perfect.
It's
got to happen.
Yeah, when Braun, gave Baron Corbin the briefcase.
Yeah.
Corbin looked like it was his and not, this is a cash-in.
Craig, you're far. No, it's not going to happen.
No,
you think Baron Corbin's going to walk out with Universal Champion?
I think Baron. I instantly think he'll be stripped of it.
Yeah,
instantly by Stephanie the next, or Kurt the next night. So I think Kurt goes back Monday personally, because he tweeted or Instagram very recently that the 2 people he thought he could trust have screwed him. That's Stephanie and Triple H. So he's put on an Instagram post of that from a long time ago.
I think Angle comes back for Survivor Series
and teams with the Shield.
Yeah, and Finn.
Do you think Braun Strowman? I get it, this is super far fetched, but the segment where Braun gave him the thing. I mean, I don't know if Corbin was smiling because he was happy that, oh my god, on my watch, not Kurt's, my watch, we're gonna have the cash-in Hell in Cell. This is mine. This is Corbin's, not Kurt's.
Yeah.
Do you think he's happy with that, or do you think he's happy because he's like, actually, I could be the general manager and the world champion?
You can't cash in.
Okay, fine.
I'm sure the referees would go, no, this is not yours.
But he's the general manager.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So I think it's probably my turn to go first.
Yeah. So I want to quickly say.
Yeah. Sure.
So Braun has cashed in, but the bell hasn't gone. So why has he not pulled the briefcase back and tried taking it on? Like when they decimated the Shield, he could have got the briefcase back.
Gone to Corbin and gone get it.
I want the briefcase. I want it now.
Yeah, I mean,
this is what they're doing on Raw lately. Hence with Mick Foley, Triple H, Undertaker. Who else appeared? Shawn Michaels. They seem to be bringing these legends back. Maybe to give a bit of pop in the ratings.
Little spike in the ratings. Yeah, that's fine.
Why not cashing in on Raw? Would not spike the ratings a little bit?
It would. I would. So
that's just something I thought in my head. I thought, mate, why is that? Because he hasn't cashed in.
Braun's
officially cashed in.
No, he hasn't. Braun's original MO was, I'm going to do it to your face.
Yeah.
And then he was like, well...
But now he's heel. He doesn't need to do that.
No, but yet, actually, he's doing it in the most credible way. Yeah. In fact, I think only RVD did this.
Yeah.
John Cena did it when he against CM Punk, and then Big Show messed that up, yeah. Is that when The Rock turned heel? No, Punk turned heel.
Yeah.
On The Rock. So yeah, he's only the 3rd guy in history to actually go, I'm going to cash in at this point. RVD was successful in one of the most hilarious matches of all time with that crowd. Cena was unsuccessful. I'm going to say Braun Strowman will be unsuccessful Sunday. I think Roman Reigns leaves Hell in the Cell Universal Champion, and I think Roman and I think Dean, Seth, Drew and Dolph all get involved. The fact that Foley's in this match, he wouldn't be put in an environment like this if the WWE weren't cautious and careful enough to think he can take a bump, he can go through it, like from the side, like through a panel, maybe he gets speared, like Roman's running at Braun or Braun's running at Roman, they move, mix behind them, they go through, when the cage like lands on the announce table, that kind of thing. I can see something like that kind of happening. And then obviously once the cage is open in some way, anyone can get in and anyone can get out. So
the cage will open. The cell will open.
I'm going with Roman Reigns.
It's so hard because, again, following logic of I said earlier, Roman Reigns said he had the title for 3 weeks, 4 weeks, whatever it's been.
Not very long.
Same as Charlotte, same as the New Day.
Yep.
I think Braun's needed the title. Not needed the title. He doesn't. I don't think Braun needs the title.
You're going for a lot of title changes on this.
Yeah, and that's the thing, and that's why I think I have to go Roman. But
you don't have to.
No. But
I've gone Becky for the SmackDown.
Roman seems like the most likely of options.
They need. I'll tell you what. If you look at the entire Universal, and this is the way I've looked at it, and I don't want it to sway you because I want you to pick who you want to pick, and I want to beat you. But if you look at the whole Universal title run, they had the only full-time babyface that was champion was Finn, and that was for a day.
Yeah.
Goldberg was a part-time champ. Obviously, then you had full-time champion Kevin Owens, part-time champion Brock Lesnar twice, and then that's it. That's all you.
Also, as well as a fact, I think I put on Twitter that the Universal title holder has never had his contractual rematch as champion.
Finn has had one now.
No, he hasn't had one.
Did he not?
Not his contractual rematch.
Okay. Right.
So that's
contractual.
But
Brock will. But I think it might be sometime.
WrestleMania.
Maybe even next year.
I'm going to go... I'm just going to go Braun.
You're going for it. You pulled the trigger.
I'm going to go Braun.
Well,
I think having the Shield chase after the Dogs of War and the heel side of the roster...
Well, I've said that before.
Turn it in. Because then you think at that point, if it does lead into Survivor Series, and you do have a 5-on-5 match... Because maybe Survivor Series isn't. I know I joke about it, but maybe Survivor Series this year might not be the only time of year that Raw and SmackDown go head to head. But it might not be this year because both rosters are so stacked in terms of talent.
Maybe they don't need to.
Maybe they don't need to.
Maybe they don't need to.
Maybe they still do. Maybe they still have two matches. But
could we have Survivor Series? And I actually would quite like this in some way. Could we have, if Braun does win, or if he does or he doesn't, could we have a 3-on-3 elimination winner-take-all scenario where we have like not 5-on-5, the traditional, literally 3-on-3 elimination, and I guess we'll say whoever pins Braun becomes Universal Champion, and the other two by default become tag champs.
Yeah.
If whoever pins, again the other way around, Braun has to pin Roman to be Universal Champion. I don't know, but I do think a winner-take-all scenario is kind of circling here.
Yeah, yeah. There's a lot they can do with it,
and that includes Dean's IC title for Dolph, maybe, or for Drew.
Yeah,
Seth's IC. Sorry, Seth's. I include that in this as well.
Yeah, I'm going to go for Braun. Okay. Roman will probably win, but I just felt like they've wanted to get that title on Braun now for the last 3 or 4 months because they thought the Roman experiment weren't working, and it's gotten better with Roman. He's obviously got a lot of more fans on his side, but yeah, I think Braun. Braun can't afford to really lose big matches. He technically lost to Kevin Owens.
Didn't seem like it, did it?
No, but he technically did
at the greatest Royal Rumble.
Yeah, and
so you're going Braun.
He is the greatest Royal Rumble champion and winner.
So okay, they are picks. There are selections. Tell us if you agree or disagree. I promised you we talk about this at the end, and we will talk about it now. And it's pretty much the only other thing I want to talk about is the entourage that is following the Dogs of War round. I have the list of them here. Would you like to guess?
Yeah, let's go for it.
Go on then.
Come on, let's go.
Go on then, go for it. Go on, you tell me. See if you can remember who's in this.
Drew Gulak.
Yes.
Which I put a tweet about. Doesn't make sense. The cruiserweight division has nothing to do with Raw anymore. Why the hell are you even wasting his travel coming to...
It's the wrong day. He's a day early.
Yeah, exactly.
Go on then, who else?
The author's a pain.
Yes.
Yeah,
now, the only
waste of time.
Drew Maverick hasn't been out there with them, which is the only tiny clue that Drew Gulak would be there. But Drake Maverick has not been out there when the AOP have been there when they've been doing this war.
Surely Drake Maverick, as a manager, would pull them out of that situation so they don't get hurt and things like that as their manager now.
He wants them to be the tag champs. Yeah. And they're helping the tag champs.
There was a bit on Raw where the Shield come out and they put one punch to Akam and Rezar and they're both down. And it's not
the AOP we know, is it?
No. This AOP were meant to be this big brute unit that would take anyone down, and they're not being portrayed like that on Raw.
Who else?
Mike Bennett's there.
Mike Bennett.
Yeah.
Bless him. I mean, I'm glad he's got something to do. Yeah. He's kind of the person you'd expect to be doing this kind of thing, so fair enough.
The Revival were there one week, weren't they? But they weren't there last week.
I think the Revival were there when there was the pull apart at the beginning of the show. I don't think they were there when it came to the beatdown.
Yeah.
So, they've not been there for...
Mojo Rawley's there.
He is, Mojo. Did well, didn't he?
Yeah.
Did really well. Yeah. Well done, Mojo.
I can't think of who else is there.
Shall I go for the others?
Yeah.
So obviously Kevin Owens.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
The most confusing one. So confusing. Jinder Mahal.
Yeah.
And obviously Ranjit with him. Ranjit Singh. Well done, Jinder. WWE champion this time last year, I think. The Ascension.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
They've been getting matches on Raw lately.
They have. They've not been winning, but they've been getting matches. Elias.
That doesn't make sense to me as well in some ways.
Elias.
Someone as big as that.
Elias. Why? Yeah, that's it. So yeah, the whole list is AOP, Kevin Owens, Jinder Mahal with Ranjit Singh, Ascension, Drew Gulak, Elias, Mojo, and Mike Bennett. Yeah.
I'm sorry, actually, yawn through this bit because it winds me up so much.
Shall we call it a day?
No. Look,
this is
the Kevin Owens one doesn't make sense to me. He's faced Braun, and Braun threw him off a cage, threw him off a ladder. Yet he's almost teaming up. Like, he might not have a choice, but he's associated with Braun now. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, he's still going on his own little rant saying that Bobby Lashley is the reason his best mate Sami Zayn is out. So he's actually still got his own shtick.
Yeah,
but
don't have him out there. Then.
I don't, mate. I don't know. You know.
I get things like Mike Bennett and Mojo Rawley Ascension because
I get
they're
them.
not doing anything.
The lower card heels on the show. My friend Luke hit the nail on the head, and it's very 90s WWF logic. You're a heel, you're a heel, you're a heel, you're a heel, your mates.
Yeah,
and it's
not like that.
It seems it,
but it's not. But
it doesn't it though? It seems exactly what they've done.
But on the other hand, why like WWE say there's no faces and no heels these days? They're in a grey area.
Not all of them. Some the Shield grey area. I'd say. Yeah. I'd say the Dogs of War grey area. But there's some guys around that ring.
Of course, of course they are. Yeah, but like they can't have it one way and have it another way. You know, I just don't get it. And I said to you before, I put it on Twitter, where having these people come out to pull them apart is overdone.
Times.
You know.
Anything else you want to talk about? There's one thing that's come in my head that I briefly want to touch upon.
Go for it.
Bobby Lashley and Jinder's meditation session last week. Dangerously close to the line. Bit odd. Did he? He mocked a lot of his culture.
I think so.
Which is not really good, I don't think.
He mocked the Canadians.
Well, okay, yes. Jinder Mahal is Canadian, yes. But, yes, the character he portrays I thought that was very, very... I was uncomfortable watching
it pretty much backs up that SmackDown is the land of opportunity, right? Because since he's gone back to Raw, he's been absolute shit.
He has. proper crap. Yeah. Right then, I think that kind of sums up what we think about kind of the last couple of weeks of WWE and including Hell in a Cell this coming Sunday. Kieran, the director, thank you, mate. It's been a pleasure to be back alongside you again.
It's been a pleasure touching your knee this whole
It has. We've been touching knees. I love your Batman t-shirt as well.
Thank you.
I've been rocking TCW, Title Championship Wrestling up in Leeds. Hope you're doing well up in Leeds. And I've been your Chief of Wrestling, Craig Anderson. Thank you, director.
Leeds.
Yeah.
As a Man United fan, you've just offended me.
Thank you very much, guys. We will be back with you next week. Take it easy. Bye-bye.